Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Spectrum, and today we're going to be talking about the Valve Steam Machine. And once again, I found this article on GamesRadar that I wanted to go over with you. I'm super excited for this thing, so you're probably going to see a lot of videos here on the channel about this. So if you're interested in that, make sure you hit the sub button so you don't miss any. Let's talk about this article. So it says Valve says Steam Machine is equal or better than 70%. Promise I can read. Sometimes words are hard. 70% of what people have at home, but I feel that's missing the point. Upon announcing the grand return of the Steam Machine last week, Valve also shared some curious specs with the compact mini PC. The black box promises a 4K 60 frames per second experience that is impressive compared to the consoles, but it's not exactly a monster compared to full-size rigs. At least that's what you'd assume, given that the Steam Machine is using a GPU comparable to a mobile RX 7600. I don't know what that means. Honestly, I mean, I've said before in these videos, I'm not a computer person. I just know that I want to play this. I want to get one of these things. However, when asked by Adam Savage's Tested how the company arrived at the specs and performance target for the mini PC, Valve engineer Yazin, I don't know how you say his last name, I'm not even going to attempt it, provided some surprising insights into the at-home setups. In addition to striking balance between the power and price, he said Valve also used Steam's hardware survey just to give us a good benchmark of where people's home devices are in terms of performance. The engineer says the user-generated stats revealed the Steam Machine is equal or better than 70% of what people have at home, meaning the box will theoretically be an upgrade for the majority of players. Before you start making plans to evict your current rig, I want to explain how the Steam hardware survey actually works. Rather than representing every player that uses the storefront, the monthly census instead uses a small percentage of participants who have opted in as a sample. It's anything but representative of all 154 million active users, meaning the statistic above isn't an absolute. That's not to say that if you did actually collate the PC specs for every single Steam user out there, you wouldn't arrive at a similar percentage. But while the statistics helped Valve narrow down the Steam Machine's specifications, I feel like the idea of beating. That's not to say if you did actually collate the PC specs for every single Steam user out there, you wouldn't arrive at a similar percentage. But while the statistics helped Valve narrow down the final Steam Machine specifications, I feel like the idea of the box beating 70% of gaming PCs out there kind of misses the point. For starters, I fully believe the Steam Machine is closer in nature to a console than a conventional PC. Yes, it's a tiny rig, but there's nothing stopping you from pitching it up on your desk with a mouse and keyboard. But you're talking about a compact box with similar AMD APU setup to the PS5 and Xbox Series X. So most players want to see how it compares to their living room system of choice. Just like the way Switch 2 uses DLSS to hit 4K 60 frames per second, the Steam Machine will also be tapping into AMD's FSR tricks. Tools like AI upscaling and frame generation help the mini PC fill frame rate gaps the way that older GPUs that are technically more powerful cannot, resulting in a perceivable performance hike. What I'm saying is that the Steam Machine may or may not actually be better than 70% of gaming PCs out there, but I'd try and view it primarily as a console rival. Everything from its lower power consumption to the gamepad-friendly Steam OS and even its optional new Steam controller positions the system to take on Sony and Microsoft while retaining all the benefits tied to traditional rig. Well, what will ultimately decide the mini PC's fate is the MSRP. Some analysts believe the Steam Machine could cost up to $1,000. Yeah, I don't see that. And while I don't subscribe to that figure as an expert within the gaming handheld and small form factor rig scene, a high price would render the idea of it being better than current builds absolutely redundant. Simply put, if the Steam Machine costs $400, whether or not it can beat your current PC will be irrelevant. Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's the kind of the sweet spot, 400 to 500. I think 500 is still kind of a stretch, but I think that if you already have a PC you're not going to spend $1,000 on this. But if you're a console player and it costs less than your current console, I could see, you know, dropping $450 on it. You know, I don't know. There'll be a different price in the between the memory. You know, the 2 terabytes obviously going to cost more. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I think it's probably going to land in that 400, 450 range. Maybe the 2 terabyte will be 500. I could see that, and I would pay that for it. Guys, let me know what you think. If you enjoyed the video, do all the YouTube stuff, and I will see you in the next one.
Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days.